Chosen one. God marks you, so the enemy watches you to ambush chosen ones. You ever wonder why your name lingers in rooms you've never entered? Why do strangers think you owe them rent? Please be honest. Not because you did something wrong. Your blessing does too much right. Little known fact. Psychology studies reveal that envy and proximity to excellence they can't imitate make people sabotage others. They don't detest you. They loathe your near undeniability. Behind the scenes, talks, group chats, phony grins, and discreet motions are being done to throw you off. It's no coincidence. A strategy. Darkness doesn't slumber with this strong light. It plots. The twist. Every attempt to trip you makes you faster. Your testimony is being built while they think they're traps. You were predisposed to chess from birth, but they're playing checkers. Your blessing flips the board when they believe they have you trapped. Sit tight and chuckle. Plotting shows you're thriving. Break this down thoroughly. Because your surroundings aren't gossip. Spiritual surveillance. Your benediction is too strong, heavenly, and protected to cancel. They're not only plotting against you, they're fighting a mirror that sees them unrealized. Their planning against you isn't based on your success. They react to something deeper. You've become a walking representation of everything they attempted to be, couldn't be, and secretly want to be. You survived what was meant to break you. Through it, you became stronger, more focused, and more yourself. That alone bothers them. The actual threat isn't your achievement. You represent truth in a performance-driven world. Acceptance doesn't require masks. You don't bend to fit. You live in authenticity most people can't sustain for 5 minutes, and they detest it. Although they like you, being around you makes them acutely conscious of what they gave up to fit in. Your presence reminds them of their moral compromises for validation. When they betrayed others to rise and silence themselves to be liked, you didn't. Joining didn't cost you your soul. You remained honest. Your light is now unbearable to them. Therefore, they plot. It's not about you. Your reflection shows them who they're not. It burns. They'd rather destroy the mirror than admit it. Some of your former admirers are now cold, aloof, and even violent. Your growth destroyed their sense of superiority. People no longer consider you friends. You threaten the lies that shape their image. The kicker. No matter how they dull your light, you shine brighter. Because chosen people aren't weakened by attacks. They clarify. Your spirit is unbreakable, and their hatred proves it. Not your fault. Not. You prove it. Second, their strategy isn't chaos. Distraction keeps you emotionally engaged. You don't grow spiritually. They can stop you without destroying you. They just need to distract you. That's the plan. Many selected ones miss this since we're taught to spot obvious attacks, smear campaigns, betrayal, and backstabbing. However, the true threat is subtler. In disputes you didn't need to answer. It's in people who drain your energy. Emotional chaos drains you so much you can't hear your intuition. They want your peace of mind, not to be unkind. They're undermining your lucidity. When you think clearly, you're dangerous. You start making unpredictable moves. You recognize manipulation. You become strategic instead of reactive. That alters the game completely. They target your emotions first. They confuse with illogical situations. People who contradict themselves, continual tiny fires to put out. To keep you informed, everything is designed. Self-defense, explanation, doubt. Because battling in the emotional arena prevents spiritual growth. You're not weak. They sense your strength when you're focused. Your alignment scares them. They dread your focus. They worry about what happens when you forget the drama and find the divine strategy you've always had. If it seems like turmoil is hurled at you without reason, it is. It's not their goal to defeat you, to keep you busy. But once you step back, slow down, and center yourself, you'll see it. Nothing is real. Nothing except noise. Once you quit dancing with distractions, your next move will be unstoppable. Third, your blessing isn't free. Divine counterattack. You got a blessing, not simply something good. It's not luck. A weapon. You're meant to upend systems, shatter habits, and challenge generations-old strongholds. Life is a counterattack, whether you understand it or not. Every rise weakens corruption. That's why you've always felt more pressure than others, not due of your curse. Because you're carrying something disruptive. Some are lucky to be comfortable. You're blessed to correct. Your favor lacks sweetness. It's crisp. It cuts lies. It bypasses manipulation. This reveals what people tried to hide. People are shaken by your presence alone. No need to speak. Being you makes people face themselves. This is an issue for individuals who've based their lives on lying. Your blessing is authoritative. That authority is spiritual. You didn't request. You were born with it. Your DNA. Therefore, when someone blocks you, everything go apart for them. Not just playing with someone, messing with a heavenly assignment. It never ends well. People assume they can outwit, outtalk, or outmaneuver you. This is what they don't get. You're not alone. A deeper purpose underpins your blessing. The appearance is unimpressive. Shows arrives to disrupt. Broken family lines are changed by it. Entering poisonous workplaces reveals gloom. It illuminates every hidden purpose in relationships. That's why you've been battled hard. You're spiritually dangerous, not flashy. You and the systems around you are affected by your blessing. Your blessing will return the more they push against you, whether they like it or not. Fourth, you're easy to adore, not corrupt or manipulate. Same for control-adjusted persons. You won't let others utilize, lie to, or reduce you to make them feel better. The tension starts there. They can't handle someone who sees through the charade. Instead of matching your authenticity, they term you difficult, too much, or too intense. That doesn't show your flaws. It shows their boundaries. They're unfamiliar with someone who feels valued without their approval. Your own thoughts. Questioning things. You don't follow trends or groupthink. You endanger silence and compliance systems. Many people who claim you're hard to love want love to mean compliance, not honesty. You don't blindly give your loyalty. Thus, they consider your boundaries betrayal. This they won't admit. You're respected for it. They don't know how to express it because it means acknowledging you're not the issue. They describe you as frigid or guarded. However, you're one of the friendliest people they've met. You're not kiddish. You don't give your faith easily. You watch. You assess spirits. You discern. Wisdom, not a barricade. True lovers recognize you. They sense your spirit before speaking. But those who seek your power, peace, or energy without accountability, they call you names and try to use your might against you. You're easy to love. It's impossible to corrupt you. That's what makes you invaluable in a world that wants to price everything. Fifth, they're trapping you for who you were, not who you are. They're trapping a past you. They're studying your prior hurts actions, and triggers to find out how to stop you. They don't realize they're chasing someone who no longer lives there with a faulty compass. Because of obsolete intel, their strategy continues failing in front of them. They remember you when you doubted yourself, overexpressed, and overexposed. They want that version to appear up so they can push the same buttons, cause conflict, and get the same response. That's not your home anymore. You've changed. You've gone through too much to foresee. You were only a chapter in that version. They don't comprehend that healing sharpened you, that every breakdown improved your discernment, and that agony improved you. Now you move differently. Your speech is deliberate. React with clarity, not emotion. Your reaction has stopped. You respond. This alone has derailed their carefully planned background strategy. Nothing works, so they're frustrated. You're caught less by bait. You're unaffected by rumor. The rejection doesn't hurt. Validation from outgrown places is unnecessary. When they try to reproduce the past, they show how trapped they are. Their struggle is spiritual. Their methods are carnal. Manipulation, drama, deception, and control. Nothing works when you level up silently. People who only battle ego and envy can't find you spiritually. Their plans are failing in ways they can't explain. Some consider you lucky. You're changed. You become untouchable by their strategy. Your spirit is already 5 levels ahead, living a life they can't block or blueprint before they recognize it. Sixth, they want emotional because strategic is hazardous. They want you to stop thinking. They want emotion. Being calm makes you see too much. You move too accurately. Your mind doesn't merely perceive their energy when clear. Predict their next move. That's why chaos keeps arriving in varied forms. Not random. A tactic. This is to encourage action over thought, because they know you're not being your best when you react. Focused chosen ones are hazardous. Your insight is surgical. Walk into a room and decipher what's happening without speaking. You understand body language, energy shifts, and concealed intentions effortlessly. Only when your mind is calm. Only when outside noise doesn't steal your feelings. This is why attacks are rarely obvious. Misunderstandings, unanticipated emergencies, individuals dragging your name into messes you didn't cause, and sudden mood changes from friends are examples. It's meant to keep you explaining, defending, and overthinking instead of doing. When you enter that chessboard with a clear mind, the game is done. Your strategy is wonderful. Your vision exceeds their control. Because one emotional trigger might distract you, they try even when you're not affected by surface distractions. If they keep you emotional, they can delay your breakthrough. They know your destiny can't be halted, but they can slow it by making you trade precision for instinct. Once you achieve calm, you're untouchable. Instead of becoming louder, your quiet becomes calculated. Stillness is a weapon. That area goes beyond reacting to the surroundings. One step at a time, you're redesigning. 7, you're not loathed. You're being studied. Not only observed, you're examined. Out of calm terror, not admiration. People are watching you like experiments, not to support you, but to figure out how you accomplish what you do, how gracefully you handle pressure, your honesty when it's easier to stay silent, how you keep rising when everyone suggests you should have given up. They don't hate. Data is being collected. They track your habits, your reaction to failure, how you maintain tranquility and stay grounded while everything is pulling you apart. Others see your spiritual wisdom in quiet. They perceive your words' weight. They deep down know you're building more than a life. Building a blueprint. Your decisions, perspective, and strength threaten systems that keep people quiet, fearful, and reliant. That's why strangers have strong opinions about you. That's why they steal your ideas but insult your creativity. They pretend to be above your formula while deciphering it. This is their actual fear. You may wake others with your next move. Starting a chain reaction could force individuals out of the fog. You might show that healing is possible, that you don't have to sell your soul to survive, and that integrity can win. Such honesty. It's hazardous to illusionary systems. So they track your energy, replicate your language, and shadow you. Not because people adore you, but because you kill spiritual stagnation. You're not merely a person. You become a case study, reference, and living interruption to fakery. They're watching to halt what you've begun, not rejoice. Eighth, you were sent in as a silent checkmate, not the pawn. They wanted everyone to assume you were a pawn on their chessboard, easily sacrificed or manipulated. They believed they had you confined, controlled, and predictable due to your seeming weakness, calm presence, and readiness to play along. However, they didn't comprehend you weren't put in to lose or utilize. You were assigned silent checkmate. You entered traps with toxic energy, limiting beliefs, and people ready to undermine you. From the outside, it looked like a struggle to survive. But those places weren't accidents. They were heavenly missions, carefully organized tests to place you where you needed to be, discreetly gathering information for the precise moment to change the game. Your stealthy entry into the enemy's land was heavenly penetration. You learned their techniques, weaknesses, and blind spots. You remained calm while they underestimated you, smiled as they plotted, and got stronger unexpectedly. Every step they thought they controlled was preparation for the final blow. It will be too late when they discover what happened. Your name will resonate in rooms you never intended to enter as the board is flipped and their power is undone. Your victory won't be shouted. It will be silent, definitive, and total. They assumed you were a pawn, but you were always the surprise checkmate. You trigger them because you came through what they used to justify their mediocrity. You don't provoke them by thinking better. Proving they could have done better triggers them. You stroll through their crutch hell. You experience the same betrayal, abandonment, poverty, and suffering. But it didn't ruin your character. You survived the monsters without becoming one. You remained honest, and that worries them. They excuse their actions with pain. They must believe the world made them cold, manipulative, uncaring, or bitter. They've formed identities around what occurred to them. They don't perceive inspiration in wounds, grace, pain, and tranquility. They see danger. You disprove the idea that suffering equals cruelty. Brokenness must become identity. You prove healing is possible, destroying their story. They wanted to believe that being a villain, using people like tools, and playing the victim were the only ways to be seen. You survived worse, yet compassionate, discerning, and powerful. They hate that. You make them face the truth they've avoided for years. They took the easy, ego-driven cop-out option. Now your existence weakens their excuses. No need to speak. You're the living contradiction to everything they've used to keep trapped. Thus your presence makes them uncomfortable. They refuse healing. They want applause for giving up, not waiting for applause. You recovered silently. Your evolution was hidden. Now your light reveals their shadows. That's why they want you gone. Exposure, not jealousy. Competing wasn't your goal. You rescued the story they twisted. This is more dangerous than money, titles, or platforms. You survived their devastation. You escaped unscathed. They hate you because of that. Number 10. They didn't accidentally betray you. They activated when you outgrew their agenda. They didn't betray you accidentally or in rage. When you no longer fit their tale, they betrayed you. Some loved ones were compelled to fulfill roles you didn't want. Limiters, gatekeepers of potential if you kept within their confines. Everything was comfy for them. However, when your energy and frequency exceeded their control, their role changed suddenly. This isn't about resentment or envy, about spiritual posture. Your problems go beyond failed relationships. An activation sequence is underway. Their betrayal means your blessing is changing and no longer serving them. How useful you were to their story determined their loyalty. You outgrew that, so they switched it. They were meant to slow you down, so they became barriers. To trap you in old habits and return you to a world that was safe for them, but toxic for you. Their behaviors seem like betrayal, yet they're spiritual alarm bells. It shows that your blessing has grown. The improved, enlarged version is much more powerful. Their turn from support to sabotage is calculated. It's inevitable. They can't accommodate the new you because it threatens their stability. Instead of praising your advancement, they clip your wings. Despite the suffering, this moment liberates you. They turning on you shows you're on the correct track. It proves your blessing isn't growing. It's changing your environment. Identifying the activation is difficult. Spiritual growth, not relationship failure, is unfolding before your eyes. Once you realize it, their treachery hurts less. It fuels your drive to exceed their expectations. Number 11. No one is attacking your possessions. Your next release is being assaulted. You're not being targeted for your accomplishments. They assault because of your power. What's about to appear? They fear your subsurface energy, the unformed next wave of your impact, not your current success. Your future self will cause spiritual upheaval. Something they don't grasp is setting off a silent alarm in their universe. Before you realize it, they sense your energy shift. They launch preemptive strikes to disarm a force they can't control. You threaten their status quo, thus they fear the unknown. This makes every setback, controversy, and betrayal more than random chaos. It's a plan to prevent you from taking charge before you're ready. They know that releasing what's inside will revolutionize your life and upend systems based on falsehoods and manipulation. Thus, pressure builds before your breakthrough. Suffocating the spark before it spreads is their goal. This is the truth. The anticipation of your climb makes you invincible. The more they push and poke, the closer you are to something big. More than a target. Your catalyst. The spiritual upheaval they fear is your fate. Demanding attention by knocking loudly. Remember that assaults aren't evidence of weakness or failure. They're the universe's warning that you're about to unleash something powerful. Next is more than a stride ahead. This seismic shift will change everything. 12. They underestimate you because they see your temperance as weakness. They keep thinking you're weak because you don't respond as expected. They assume your silence means you're defeated, broken, or too tired to fight. Nothing could be further from the truth. Your quiet doesn't imply acquiescence. A calculated choice. You watch. you learn. You're watching their every action, word, and flaw. While they underestimate you, you plan your comeback. Don't waste energy on unnecessary battles. You know timing is crucial, and coming into combat too soon advantages them. You're strategic, not fearful, so you hold back. You blinded them with hubris. You let their loudness fill the room while preparing your quiet storm. Restraint is your strength. Though they don't realize it, every silence moment is a setup for a future where you completely flip the script and leave them dumbfounded. You may seem inert, but you're preparing the stage for a public reversal so overwhelming that no one will dispute your strength or purpose. Their mistake is assuming strength is always loud and aggressive. Power comes from understanding when to talk, act, and wait. Your patience is wisdom and underestimation. Their downfall. Because while they think you're done, you're silently assembling your victory. Moving day will be so precise and perfect that it will change the story. Number 13. They unknowingly promote you as they strategize. Every plan they hurl at you is a megaphone publicizing your name. Rumors, whispers, and smear campaigns aren't burying you quietly. They illuminate your location on the map. Stories, especially war ones, are popular. And every attempt to mute or prevent you only raises more ears. More they hide or ignore you, the more attention they attract. This is their missed irony. Their hatred is your biggest supporter. They create curiosity by damaging your reputation. People start asking questions, searching for answers, and you become the center of talks you never wanted but did benefit from. Discrediting you ripples through networks, groups, and even places you never dreamed you'd reach. They want you out, but their acts open openings. They want to reduce your influence but increase your viewership. Like they're unintentionally supporting your name's biggest billboard. Their fear and envy are audible, and every nasty thing they say highlights your truth and strength. This is why opposing noise indicates growth. They don't realize it, but their attempts to stop you energize you. They plot to build, not bury. When they escalate their attacks, realize that they're offering you free marketing on an unprecedented scale. Higher their hatred, the larger your platform, and more unstoppable you become. Number 14. Your blessing goes beyond safety. It proves heaven has favored you. Your blessing goes beyond protection. It's a cosmic sign that the highest power has decided your fate. Attacks, setbacks, and attempts to derail you aren't random or in the dark. The war was over before you knew it. The spirit world has favored you. That decision is final. This is why their efforts fail. Not because you're lucky or stronger, because unseen forces have approved your path, goal, and future. You're not surviving by chance. You outlast with God's blessing. That makes you invincible. Not a lucky break, but a divine edict that transcends the moment. This blessing goes beyond protection. Your journey is validated. It describes your challenges, progress, doubts, and resilience. Everything was planned and approved. Not everything in your life is random. Earthly opposition can't stop a heavenly design. When you feel like everyone is against you, remember this. The biggest decision is done. Heaven saw your heart, purpose, and potential. It has decreed your growth, success, and destiny. This verdict is confirmed by your blessing. No enemy, circumstance, or attack can erase this spiritual seal of approbation. Your fight goes beyond survival. You're alive because you won. The vulnerability people see is actually your greatest strength. Every plot against you and every attempt to disrupt your path demonstrates you're where you belong. on the verge of a breakthrough that completely upends their control. You are not a victim. You control fate. A blessing is more than a shield. It means the highest powers have won for you. The attacks, betrayals, and upheaval are just background noise to your ascension. Keep your head up, focus, and trust the silent strategy emerging beneath the surface. Because when the world sees your complete self in what you carry, nothing will surprise them. They'll change forever. This is your chance. It's your fate. What heaven has started can't be stopped. If this message resonated with you and you're ready to take charge, subscribe so you never miss a truth and empowerment moment. If you feel energy shifting in your favor, like and comment. Your tale may be the breakthrough someone needs. Share this video with someone on a tremendous path. We become invincible together. One truth at a time, develop this movement. Bless you.